Good morning. Happy Saturday. How is everybody? This is Zuri, and welcome to Talk Yarning to Me. I'll be talking yarning with you for a few minutes now, a few minutes here. So it's been a few weeks, and it's been a busy few weeks. Where have I been? I don't even remember the last time I talked to you guys. Probably like end of February, beginning of March. Since then, so my first thing, my little tiny baby boy, who is just a little baby, of course, turned 13 last week. And so obviously I spent several days in the fetal position, just like lamenting the loss of my infant child. But we also did his birthday party like 2 Saturdays ago. So that was a whole thing. Several days of preparation. It's probably the last birthday party we'll do. It's so sad. We've done one almost every year. He has a blast, but he's getting older now. I told him like probably next few years we'll just pick a few friends and whatever they want to do, I'll take them to do it. But it was a lot of fun. We did it at the house. We ordered a video game truck, which they barely played in. Because they found our stash of Nerf guns. 13-year-old boys and a couple girls, poor girls, there was like 2 girls, found our stash of Nerf guns and had just a 4-hour long Nerf war around our house. We'll be picking up the little darts for years to come. So there was that, and then last week I went out of town on a trip for work. So I left on Sunday. Today's Saturday, the 16th. I just got back last night. And so I'm gonna show you guys what I managed to get done before we left on the trip. And then what I took on the trip to get done and what I actually got done. Those are 2 very different things. The trip was to Cleveland. I work in the film industry, and we were pretty much setting up the network for a new movie. So I'm a network engineer. I like set up the connections between, like, for the site, the production office, like to get to the internet, to reach their local resources, the firewall rules. I make sure that all of everything is on the right network, because there's several networks, not just one big network, several networks. Accountants have a network, VFS has a network, like the general production has a network, there's wireless, there's this. So I set all that up. And then we had a server guy who is a systems guy who sets up like the servers for all of the production. So there's various like storage servers and file transfer servers, etc. that get set up. I don't even know what they all do. I just make sure they can talk to each other if they need to, or not talk to each other if they don't need to. And then there's like a help desk guy that obviously works with the end users, gets everybody on their right network, and make sure that their internet's working, and make sure that they can print to the right printers, etc. So we 3 flew out, plus like one of their managers and a couple other people like that weren't there for the whole time. But we 3 that were there from Sunday to yesterday. And it was a good trip. It was actually my first time doing one of these. It went really smoothly. They kind of got a really good system down. So especially for me, it was really smooth. Systems guy had a lot of trouble, which ended up giving us like some really long days. So that's kind of like part of the reason I didn't get done a lot of stuff, because I was thinking, yeah, we'll work, the first couple days will be really busy. We might work long days, but the last few days should be like relatively simple, 9 to 5, even less, half days maybe. And then, there'd be some more time. And then I don't drink, but a lot of these trips, like we have per diems, and at night, the guys might go out to like a bar or something, and because I don't drink, I probably figured I'd be staying in. We ended up working 12-hour nights every night, or 12-hour days almost every day, which was fine. It was still a good learning experience. But yeah, we come back to the hotel like 10 o'clock. We get back to the hotel, because we stayed in Cleveland. We stayed actually right next door to like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The stadiums were like the Browns and the Cavs and the Cleveland. Who's the baseball team? They have a baseball. Where all the stadiums are, all downtown, right on Lake Erie. Like I had to crane my neck a little, but you could, like our hotel, you could see Lake Erie from the hotel. The good views were already taken by the time we checked in, but it was there. And so, we kind of were like, yeah, we'll get the work done. And then You know, we really wanted to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but they close at 5. Everything closes early in Cleveland. It is crazy. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame closes at 5. The manager that came with us, he was there from Sunday night to, he left Wednesday afternoon. But he really wanted to go because Michael Jackson's glove is there, and he really wanted to see it. So we didn't get to go those days, and then we really didn't need to go in on Friday, but we went in to just kind of show face and just check things over. We had to arrange to get some of our equipment mailed back, like just little cleanup stuff. We thought we'll be out of there in a couple hours. And then right like 15 minutes before we were gonna leave, like we had already picked where we were going for lunch. We were just getting ready to pack up. The production coordinator came over and was like, hey, the director of the movie, he can't get Wi-Fi calling to work on his phone, and the building they're in has really bad cell reception. Like, I'm on Verizon and it worked, but a lot of my coworkers were on AT&T and they couldn't get any bars. So that ended up being this 2-hour ordeal, which was not even anything in our network. So really it was just like, he should have just gone to the AT&T store. But because we call it like kind of white glove service when we're first setting these up, our help desk guy like really helped him out and like called AT&T for him and gave him all the info, and they like reset some stuff, and like finally we were able, like, you know, he was able to get it to work. So but that killed our our little window to go do something fun. So we just like went to lunch and then went to the airport. But it was, other than that, it was good. Like the food, you guys, okay, that was my first time really in the Midwest of the US. So Ohio, I guess it's east of where I am in Atlanta, but I think it's considered the Midwest, which is weird because I live in a coastal state. So I tend to like think of myself as being as far east as you can go, and I forget that there's other things farther east of me. Like Detroit is east of me, Cleveland is east of me, Toronto's east of me, all those. But I didn't even I thought I was flying west until I like got on the plane and I actually did the trip tracker thing that like follows your plane. But anyway, what was my point? Oh yeah, it's the Midwest, but it was my first time really in the Midwest. I did not expect the food, 1, to be as good as it was, 2, to be like such gigantic portions and like filling. Like we would eat lunch, and because we had such long days, we ate lunch like kind of late, like sometimes 3 or 4. We didn't eat dinner, not one night we were there, except the very first night, Sunday, when we flew in. We like I got in early in the morning because it was less than a 2-hour flight for me. The other 2 guys are flying in from LA. They had a layover. It was a whole day for them. But once we all finally were there, we met up and we walked to like a nearby, I guess, bar to get dinner. We walked in like 10 minutes before the kitchen closed. We got some wings and things. That's the only night we ate dinner. It was like $15, and the food is cheap. It was like $15. So our per diems were like $48 for breakfast, $48 for lunch, and $75 for dinner. We didn't even come close to touching our per diem, like not once. It was crazy. There's times like when our whole combined check was like less than one person's per diem. It was crazy. But it was so good. It was so good. We went to like a wing place. We had wings almost every day, like either as an appetizer or the meal. We went to this grill, like this smokehouse, like a couple times. And the food was like, for one, half the time we couldn't finish our plates. I would finish my plates just because I didn't feel like taking food back. But like the last Thursday, I didn't finish my plate. I got like these Thai trip sirloin. I ate half of it. I took the other half to the hotel and ate it for dinner. That's what we did every night. I didn't even eat dinner any night except for that night because I had those leftovers to take every other time. I just ate that lunch and I was not even thinking about food until like the next day at lunch. So, oh man, Midwest, like chef's kiss on your food. It's good, it's cheap, and it's so filling. Like we were like, if we stay any longer, it's not gonna be good. But anyway, so that's that. That's the kind of the update. That's what's been going on. Birthday party, business trip. Yeah, and that's what's been keeping me busy. So what I got done before the trip was, this is kind of what I was working on. And then work has also been just been busy in general. Even before I left, we had some stuff go on. But kind of just sitting around the house, either at work or my downtime. I did a couple of hats. Like this is just a basic beanie. And then this is Abad had a Palooza hat. I think this is the Joshua Tree beanie. See, I haven't even done my ends. It's crazy. This one's cool. It's got like the ribbing. This is made with Karen Colorama Ogo. Not the halo, just the regular Ogo. And this is just a Red Heart Super Saver and Cherry Red that is lasting forever. It's the jumbo pack. I cannot get rid of this thing. It is lasting forever. This one came out, I feel like it came out big, which is fine, but it's okay. All right. And this is a Bot Hatapalooza hat from a few weeks ago. I got all caught up and then I fell behind again. So that's one of the things, one of my goals for the trip was I was like, I'm gonna get caught up on that. Didn't happen. And the other thing that I got done before the trip, so excited, was I finally finished the shawl from my mama a month and a half after her birthday. It came out so beautifully. Did I take a picture? I'll take it. If I didn't take one already, I'll take one and I'll post it because I can't even get the whole thing in frame. Probably it came out big, which is so like. Remember, I used this exact same yarn and I crocheted one, and you know it was almost like a shawlette, but this one like extends my wingspan. Like it goes beyond my wingspan. It's like it's hard to tell because I'm wearing this hoodie. But, you know, it's a good size. And hold on, let me get it on here. And I'll turn around so you can kind of see it in action. So that's it. It's like comes right down the middle of my butt. Can you see? I kind of extend it out. Hopefully you guys could see that. Sorry, that was really close. So my mom is a little bit smaller than me, so it'll wrap her up really good. So I did make two fatal mistakes though. One, I waited, so as you see, this is primarily stockinette stitch with just the little garter ribs here, garter ridges. So if you know anything about knitting or even Tunisian crochet, stockinette stitch will curl on you. So you have to have a good garter border. So that's why these edges don't curl, because they have a little bit of a border here. But I waited too long to switch it back to garter stitch toward the end of the project. I should have started probably like down here and did this whole thing in garter stitch. I waited too long. I only ended up getting like 2 rows of garter stitch before I had to cast off. And honestly, at this point, I don't know how many stitches. Like, so this, the way it's worked, this is the working edge. So like all the way from one tip, all the way down to the point and back up is the edge that you're working on. So that's hundreds of stitches. I was not undoing a couple of rows. So it was, it just was gonna have to curl or hopefully block out. I tried to block it out, it didn't block out. But I might reblock it and actually pin it. I just kind of laid it flat and put some stuff on it, like some books or something on it. I think I might maybe try to actually pin it out. Maybe. I don't know if I feel like doing that. So yeah, that's part of it. It's kind of curling, but it's not that big a deal, especially since this is the bottom edge. So with gravity kind of pulls it down. So it's not that big a deal. See, you can't really tell. You can see it's a little wavy. If this was the top edge, then it would probably, like when I tried to wear it, it would curl under. So that's the one mistake I made. The second mistake I made was I also waited too long to cast off. And so I actually ran out of yarn very shortly into my cast off row. Like, where is it at? So here's my last row. You see this lovely black here, black and gray. That's the last color. And then, where is it at? We're gonna go a little bit more. Shoot, I can't find it. Oh, I already passed it. Right here. So it's not that noticeable. So this much of the cast off row is in the right color, and then all of this here I had to find another color for. And I thought I had like another black cotton cake. I did not. The closest I had was one that kind of has a gray, like this gray. So you see this mix. This is like the black and gray mixed. It's hard to see. Sorry if it's not coming out on me. This last color here is like black and gray. So I had one that kind of ends in a solid gray that's the exact same. So I just got that. I grabbed, actually, I'll show you here. It's this one here. So that's what I used to finish it off. I just took it from the outside. And it worked. I was like ready to be done. And I wanted to finish it before I left. I wanted to get it in the washing machine. And I did. So that's what's done. Okay. I have some on the ends of all of those too, which I haven't done yet. So what I took with me, I had plans, you guys. I thought, you know, it's gonna be me in a hotel room. You know, even after we go to dinner every night, which we didn't end up doing, like I still get at home, get back to the hotel in time to have a couple hours. And I was gonna crochet my heart out. I didn't take any knit projects except for like those little cotton, those small things, the kitchen cotton that I make washcloths with. I was like, I can handle that because this was just so hard on my hands. It was so small. I ended up, I have it, can you see it? You can't really see it, but I ended up like poking my finger, you can't see it, and like giving myself a little bruise here that's just now healing, like stabbing myself pretty much through the finger. It's a little sharp, a little like 2 millimeter, not even 2 millimeter, like US size 2 needles, and they're metal and they're like so sharp. So I didn't take any real knit projects. I took some crochet projects. So first thing I took was something that I started last week. Oh, this is, my band broke. I'm gonna tape it back up probably. It's been in my bag and all this. So this here is Ice Cream Roving. Here in the color, what is the color? In the color Double Bubble, right? It's been through airports and whatnot with me. It's a little worse for wear, but it is. So this is what I had started for my next bod, Hatapalooza hat, which is like the super slouchy cluster stitch beanie. I did not make mine super slouchy because it just was like, it was a ridiculous, it was almost elf hat slouch at that point. But it came out good. I was working on it. I started working on it a little bit last week, and then this was what I did on the flight to Cleveland. I did a little bit in the hotel before I passed out, and then I finished this at the airport yesterday. So still got, actually I wove the ends, I just got to clip them. So it came out a lot less slouchy than the original, which is fine by me. The brim is a little tight for me, so definitely not gonna be mine, but that's it. I think it's good. I think it's good. But it's a little bit bigger, but it's like not, it doesn't like the one that if I kept going like as much as she did, it all the way hangs over like a more than is practical. So I finished this. Get this. Do I have a scissors right here? I do. Clip these ends real quick. This one I'm not gonna keep though. It's gonna donate. But I like it. This is, so I went crazy on Ice Cream Roving. Because when it came out, it was like $12, right? You guys remember that? I remember it was at Michael's. It wasn't, I don't think it was originally, so it's Lion Brand. I don't think it was originally at Joann's. I only remember seeing it at Michael's, but it was like $12 and it's like so soft. But there's just way too much money. And then they clearanced it out, at least Michael's did. And at first it was like $6. And then as the clearance went on, it went down to like $2 and $3. So I went crazy on it, but I've never used it. I bought it like 2 years ago when they clearanced it out. I never used it. It's just been in my boxes. I just hadn't got to it, but I was like, I really want to use it. I want to find the right thing to do with it because I don't know what to do with it. It made a good hat, it's a little bit fuzzy, but it's not sheddy, which is nice. I've seen people make blankets out of them. I worry because it's roving that it's gonna end up like getting it's gonna end up peeling really badly, but maybe not. Like this seems like a pretty solid, even though it's a roving, like not too fibrous, so it may make good blankets. I have enough to do a lot with it. I went crazy on this stuff because it's just like so pretty and soft, and it just like the discount was so good. Once it got down to like $2-3, it was great. So that I did finish, and then I was gonna do the next hat. I figured I had enough to probably do the next hat. Plus I have another, like even if I didn't finish it, I knew that I had another, at least one more skein of this at home. But I didn't get to that. And then the next one I know is one that has like it's a bottom up. So we'll see. It's a bottom up. I don't remember what it was though. So there's that. And then I also grabbed, did I bring it? Oh, I might have left it upstairs. I took this, which is just like a half a skein of Scarfie that is left over from another hat I did. I figured I can just whip up a quick headband with it. Didn't get to that. I left it upstairs, I think, but I have like this ball of if you guys remember, I'll post a picture up, but it's a ball of what is it called? It's from Joann's buttercream. Big Twist buttercream, which was like their Luxe brand before they rebranded to KNC. It was really nice. I actually had quite a few buttercream stuff. But I had this really pretty blue buttercream it's called Naturals, I want to say. And it's like a 6-weight wool and acrylic blend. That originally, my actual original goal, I had it in blue and I have it in like a kind of white, off-white. My original goal back when I first started knitting was to make a fisherman's rib hat with it. Because if you do fisherman's rib in 2 colors, like the rib on, I think I've talked to you about this before. Actually, no, I have. Like, it's reversible, but the colors alternate. So the rib will be one color, and then like the spaces in between the ribs will be the other color. And then if you flip it over, the rib will it'll be the opposite. So then the spaces on the inside will be the ribs on the back side, pretty much, and then the ribs on the back side. So the colors it'll be opposite. That was my plan, but it was not the right yarn for it. It was too fat. It wasn't gonna work out. So I remember balling it up because to start, and then like I got a few rows in. I was like, oh, this does not look good. This is not, and I was in my early days too. I was not as good as I am, but I always put them away and I never knew what to do with them. I think I put a few of like the intact skeins in my mystery boxes, but I had a few like that were either exploded or that I had already balled up that I have in some bags that I'm gonna donate. So that's like the only, sorry, my nose is itching. Like when I travel, especially when I stay in a hotel, like my nose gets so dry and irritated like after a day or two, and it's like gonna stay like that for a week now. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I had a few, the balls and skeins that I had that were like already either partially used, already balled up, or just kind of not in great shape. I put aside to just donate to my Goodwill. And then I have a friend at church that does crochet, so I actually told her I'd let her go through it before I did that. But I found that's the only 6-weight yarns I really have, that especially that were like easily accessible. I might have some hometowns flying around somewhere, maybe I might have some others, but those are the only ones like I could get my hands on easily, like the night before my trip. So I grabbed this ball of this pretty blue, and I was gonna make the headband, which was like bought Hatapalooza for last week out of that. And I didn't get to that. I left it upstairs, but it's really pretty. I'm gonna take a picture of it and I'll put it in, hopefully, if I remember. So there's that. And then I took some baby yarn. I took some baby yarn because, so I told you I got 4 babies this spring being born. 3 of them are confirmed to be boys. The 4th one I've heard is a boy, but I'm not sure. I didn't hear it from the actual parents. So I'm not sure if that's just like, oh, I bet they're having a boy too, or if they actually like know for a fact that it's a boy. But I know at least 3 of them are boys. So, and the baby shower invites have started trickling in. So one is next month, like a month from now, and then there's another one like early May, and then the other couple, I know they're gonna have one. I don't know when. But I was talking to the dad about like options for locations, because like to find like a venue and stuff like can be a little bit expensive. And then the fourth family, they might not have one. They didn't have one for their last kid, and their last kid is only like a year older. Like he's not a year old yet, or he's like right at it, almost a year. I don't think he's a year yet. I think he's a year next month. So if it's a boy, definitely, I think they're probably good. And they didn't have one for their last kid, so they might not have one. But I'm gonna still, you know, I probably have at least 3 baby showers coming up. So I was like, I gotta get started on these blankets, and that's what I did. So I took some baby yarn. The first one I took this here, which is Soft Essentials Baby from Red Heart, which I believe is discontinued. I had bought like a pack of 3 from last year when I made remember I made that green and yellow baby blanket with the heart motif, like it's like a mint and yellow one with like a heart motif. I made that, and I had this one left over, and I thought I had another one left over, but I couldn't find it. And then I'm pairing it with this one, Sweet Snuggles Baby from Loops and Threads. No, sorry, Snuggly Wuggly. From Loops and Threads, which I think is also getting discontinued because I think they rebranded to another, or it may just be because it's the old. I think they either rebranded or they're doing like a new packaging. I remember that they were like all their baby yarn, not just the Loops and Threads, but also like the national brand, which I don't remember what it is. I think it's I have it. It's like it's the identical to this, but it's like a, you know, national brand, not just a store brand. Was all on clearance, so I'm guessing they're rebranding to like a new baby yarn that they're gonna like stock probably like exclusively. But either way, I got these for like how much on clearance? $3 on clearance a few months ago. So what I'm working on for this, and I started this at the airport yesterday as I was waiting for my plane to board. And I worked on this all through the flight, which is a short flight. So this is the Ripple Star baby blanket from Jaden Stitches. It's really easy. There's some setups, and then everything is just a 3-row repeat. And really it's 2 rows and then 1 different row. So it's like, it's easy to remember. And so we got, I think I'm like 15 rows in. It's a little bit over a foot wide. Her pattern with the baby weight yarn used like 2 100-gram balls. How much is this? I'm gonna assume this is 100 grams. This is 141 grams. This is also 141 grams. They're not identical. They're close though. This is slightly thinner, which is fine because I actually used, this calls for like a 5.5. I'm using a 4 to get a nice tight stitch, so it's not too porous, because it already has all the holes from the star. But they're smallish, but it already has that. So I want a nice tight thing, and hopefully it's a little bit stiff right now because it's such a small hook. But it'll I think once I wash it, it'll loosen up. So there's that, and then this probably also takes a. This says it takes a 6. That's insane. There's no way. You see that? Where's that? Oh, sorry. I think it's on both sides, but you see that? It says it takes a 6. No way. Wait a minute. I thought I was a 6. I thought I hook was a 6. It says G6. Well, 4mm, which actually is what I'm using. Okay, it's okay. This takes a 4mm. This takes a. This says it takes a 5.5mm. So this should be a 5.5. I went down a couple of sizes to a 4, and then this takes a 4. So yeah. So my idea is it's kind of almost like a sunburst. So I'm gonna just go till I'm done with this. I'm probably like 2/3 of the way through with this, and then I'll switch to this, and I'll do either probably 1 or 2 balls of this depending on how big I want to make it. Like I said, right now it's about a little over a foot wide. This is just from yesterday. Very easy pattern. So that is that. And that is what I've done. Right? Yes. I'm gonna put these back here. And then the only other things I took with me was I took these. So I showed you this already. This, I'm kind of just digging around trying to decide what the next thing I want to do with these are, because I kind of want to always have something working with these. I figured, like, since I already used a few yards of this I'll do this next. I'll probably just make, not sure what I'll make, some kind of shawl. And in this, I think I'm going to use, ooh, it's blowing out. Let me see if this will hide my face a little bit. I can't, if I hide my face, I can't see. Okay, yeah, that looks better. This is really pretty. I think I'm going to do with this, the reading shawl, which I've seen on a few channels do it lately. It's like a, not quite triangular shawl, just because it's almost a trapezoid, I guess, because it doesn't come to a point. It has like a flat bottom, but it extends out, and it's really cool. So I think I'm gonna do that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I'm not gonna knit. We're not knitting with these for a while. Definitely need to give my hands a break. So I took those. I didn't touch them, but I didn't think I would get to them. It was kind of like, oh, this would be nice if I could get something started with one of these. So that's it. Thanks for listening. I will get out of here and try to get some of this stuff caught up. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you all. All right, bye.